Hi, YouTube. Awesome. So I'm Chelsea with Modus AV, and we've got our friend Steve. I'm like, addiction.
Hey, everybody.
And Steve is with Cambridge Audio. Awesome. So I've known Steve a long time. And not just through Cambridge
Since when my hair
Audio,
was black. It was
but the white is a good look.
that. It is now.
Very distinguished.
Yes. That's what they call it now. That's the best way to put it.
I mean, hey, it kind of matches like, the DeLorean. You've got the silver. We're going for like a monochromatic kind of
That's
scheme.
exactly why we made it in silver. It's a tribute to Steve.
Listen, Cambridge knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're able to join us today and answer some questions that people have about your products, both stuff that is already out and stuff that is coming out. And then we had some questions that were submitted, so we'll answer those a little bit later. All right,
That
Steve,
sounds
you ready
great.
to get into it?
Absolutely. And before we get started, thank you everybody for joining. And thank you, Chelsea and Mark, for inviting me. Really looking forward here and looking forward to seeing the store tomorrow.
Yeah. So, for those who are in the Atlanta area, we are actually going to have Steve in the house tomorrow at the Listening Lounge, where we'll have giveaways, we'll have stuff on sale, and you'll be able to like see a lot of the Cambridge products in person. We'll have them hooked up to various systems so you can hear them as well. And that event is going to be from 12 to 5 tomorrow. And there'll also be light refreshments and drinks. Awesome.
Some of my favorite drinks.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Which also
I agree.
which also means bring your favorite track, because that's their best reference is the track that you know. All right. So, Steve, really quick, can you provide an overview of the latest products in Cambridge Audio's lineup and highlight any new additions?
New additions, and we've got a lot to be able to talk about over these last couple of years. But before we talk about new, let's go back to 1968 real quick as a little refresher. That's where we all started, right? And it was very monumental for the audio industry because we were the first company to use a toroidal power supply and an amplifier. And that's something that you hear of every day now. It's commonplace. It sounds much better. Every high-end amplifier uses a toroidal power supply. And it's just we were a bunch of music people that love to listen to music and build hi-fi equipment, and we decided that we were going to make it a little bit better. So our history really goes back to building, cutting edge type technology that was slightly ahead of our time, I guess you could say, and just sounded way better than anything else at the time. So when we talk about some of our stuff in our new stuff, I mean, most recently, like this year, we released a new streaming unit, a model number called a CXN 100. There are countless great reviews on it, and everybody says exactly the same thing. Man, this really performs well. I mean, it looks great. It is a really nice and elegant looking design, and especially for the price point, when you compare a lot of the stuff inside that price, type of a price point, they use a lot of plastics and stuff we don't. It's all metal, and um, so that has a new generation of our Stream Magic platform. We actually own our Stream Magic platform. So all of the updates and all of the software is all held within us, and that's really our computing power. And that's one of the reasons why it really does perform well too. Um, Another thing that we just launched not too long ago is sitting right behind you, an EVO DeLorean. I think we're gonna. I think without letting too much out of the bag, we're gonna return back to the EVO DeLorean. But there again, it's another one with a bunch of great reviews that are out. We also now are launching a second generation of a CXA 81. You know, it was a great sounding product, but because we're kind of like perfectionists, when it's sitting around the office, our engineers like to sit down and listen to it and see if they can improve it. You know, and through swapping out DA to converters or caps, and then evaluating it against our test, we came up with a new generation called the Mark II, and that's going to be released on June 3rd. Without letting the cat out of the bag too much into the history, but we're going to have several new launches this year too to go along with it.
which is awesome and super exciting. So, what advancements have been made from the previous model of the CXA 81 to the newer Mach 2 version?
Well, we changed the D to A converter, which is primary one of the largest changes that you can see on it. The rest of it is kind of fine tuning internally, like changing caps and stuff. You can't just go and look at a model number of a D to A converter and say that with the equipment inside, it's going to necessarily sound better. And we really determine what's the best match by actually physically listening to the equipment and its pairing. We also removed out a couple components in the signal path. That way, I guess without being too technical, the noise levels between the CXA 81 and the CXA 81 Mark II, it's much lower. And I notice on some really quiet passages when there's a dynamic passage and then it goes to something that's really quiet, it's where I notice about. Like I say, the CXA 81 was a very successful product for us.
Awesome. I know it got a lot of hype when it was announced about the Mach 2 coming out.
Yes. And our dealers all over the country have been ordering in advance, waiting for this to be able to come. They're very excited about it. And, you know, like in our CXN 100, we also changed that DDA converter. Our CXN V2 was an award winning streaming unit that was out for 4 or 5 years. Now, when you have an award winning product like that, it's pretty scary releasing something after it. Um, because if it isn't better, the critics will rip it apart. But when we released it and we brought the critics to our office to be able to listen to it and compare a CXMV2, everybody agreed, was in full agreement. It sounds much better. And there too, we went from twin Wolfson D-to-A converters, and now we replaced it with one who replaced out, and we took out some of the components in the signal path, much cleaner sound. We're also doing an update on some of our stuff through our software, which should happen on May 28th. And we're going to have some really cool features that are going to just magically pop up once you do the over-the-air software update on it, on the EVOs, and also CXNV2 and our CXN100. So all of our streaming units, our Edge NQ, and our EVO class are going to get a really cool software update.
I'm really excited about the software updates. I'm one of those people where I'm not usually an early adopter when it comes to certain things, but with a lot of times you find that with updates that so many things are improved that it's worth it.
Yes. I mean, it's almost like having a new streaming unit at times like that and trying to locate some of the features. And with this update, people are definitely going to know that there was a software update, and it's going to be really, really cool. So stay tuned on May 28th. when you do if you do have a Cambridge audio unit, you will need to update it in Stream Magic and also in the unit itself. And it's very, very, very simple. Um, there's no magic to trying to be able to do any of the update. We do all of the software work behind that, so that way our stuff is very trouble free, easy to hook up, and just simply works.
Oh yeah, it's super easy to set up. I know for myself, like I did our unboxing of the EVO DeLorean and I basically set it up and it was super easy. Like it wasn't complicated. The app is easy to work. So I was like, this is it was a great experience.
It is, and there's a lot of times customers are first time streaming customers, so they're kind of intimidated about getting set up on a network.
Mhm.
But you can pull hours out of a box and it walks you right through everything. And in 15 minutes, you're up and working. The other thing that's really cool about it, I think that really is an advancement in Cambridge audio technology, is that we are really like universal type players. We try to make our stuff work and play well with everybody. Our turntables have aptX HD Bluetooth built into it. So if you had a whole home system and you wanted to be able to go and connect a turntable, you wouldn't have to have somebody go and tear the whole home system out. Or it could be placed out into a location where you could actually use the turntable and it connects to all your hidden gear. Or if you had a set of headphones, Bluetooth headphones, and you wanted to listen to your turntable at night while everybody was sleeping, you could do that. It also has, it has a phono output, it has a phono stage built into it already. Or if you want, you can bypass that. So we really make not only a product that is kind of universal in its performance and the way that it can kind of hook up, but it's very easy and there's only about 8 steps pulling it out of the box to be able to set up a turntable.
Mhm.
Other ones that are out there, I mean, it could be an hour or two, right?
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Thanks, Chris. Yes, I'm glad you like the EVO DeLorean. Thank you, Chris.
I like the DeLorean. And since we're on the topic of the DeLorean, can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind it and how it fits into Cambridge's audio's lineup overall?
Well, not a lot of people are aware that there is a new DeLorean car being launched. And in Pebble Beach this year, you're going to see the actual car ready for sale. You can pre order them online at DeLorean.com. They're an all electric, really cool car. Stephen Wynn was the guy that purchased all the DeLorean assets, right? He was a mechanic for DeLorean, has been repairing and had a huge repair facility in Texas and I think in Florida too as well to be able to repair all the DeLoreans that were out on the road. And he and his son are launching out an electric vehicle. We partnered up with him. We're gonna work on the sound system for it. And we thought, wow, this is really cool. What a great opportunity for us to be able to launch something retro. I mean, Back to the Future is a very iconic movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the whole 88 miles an hour piece is amazing, if you ask me. So when we decided that we were going to build a DeLorean, although the new DeLoreans aren't stainless steel, right? We knew we had to build it in stainless steel, and I think it looks great. I mean, it's you don't see a lot of products out there that are in a stainless steel. You see them as a silver or a black, but you don't see them in a stainless steel. And we also, we have the retro
Mm-hmm.
type of DeLorean logo on there, or we have it the old school as back in the movie. You have changeable side panels on it. It's going to have some wonderful VU meters up on the display too, as well. And I think we
Well,
showed it to you at Axpona, didn't we?
you did, and I'm excited for that update when it comes out, because I'm sure I'll just have it on, just to watch the meters run the whole time.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it came from, and it was. I mean, will we have more products that are kind of in that same type of shit? I kind of hope so,
Yeah.
because I think looking back into stuff 40 years ago, there's a lot of commonalities in the audio industry. Right? We're still using amplifiers, we're still using speakers, and I think that it really is engaging for younger people to go back and kind of have retro stuff. I mean, retro clothing is in right now, and references. And,
Mhm.
our industry really needs more young people more engaged.
I
Yes,
agree.
we have the best flux capacitors ever, too. We had to go all, we had to go search far and wide for the flux capacitors in DeLorean.
Hey, listen, you found some great ones. So, as a millennial, I'm not mad at it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it looks like the
So,
chat is
so
blowing
that's
up right now. Ooh. I was like, your text is really small. Jay, could you read it to me?
is there a huge audible difference in the sound difference between an AXN10 and a CXN100? Is the DAC worth an upgrade? Well, there is there is, in my opinion, a very big sound quality difference between the two of them. And there again, I mean, the black levels on the CXN100 are exceeded my expectations. The AXN10 and the MXN10 are two great streaming devices that have won a lot of awards and best in class for many years. So it's really, is it worth it to be able to go and upgrade? Well, that the MXN and the XN resale value still has some resale value, so it's not that far apart as far as price wise. But it's kind of like having a brand new music library now when you go and you upgrade the streaming. We used to go and spend a lot of money on CDs all the time and all this new music, and now if your primary source of music is streaming, you're not spending any money on the software itself, right? It's the hardware that every few years you're going to get it, and then it's kind of like having a brand new music collection, in my opinion. So yes, I would say it's well worth it.
Thank you, Steve. Oh, we got another question.
Oh my God, one album to show off Cambridge product. What would be your choice? Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. I am a non-traditional, and Chelsea can validate this. When they were right, we are very non-traditional when it comes to demo music. I like Snoop Dogg, and the reason why that I like, and there's a lot of tracks on Snoop Dogg that I really like, and it's because it's a mystery of what you're going to get on the Snoop. Snoop is a genius in my opinion, and and his whole albums, when you listen to it on a great system, you hear a lot of stuff that was not in there. You could have listened to it in your car a million times and you didn't hear a lot of this information stuff that Snoop purposely put in the background. Um, and you know, I like I like some traditional type of stuff, but I also am kind of a hardcore rock and roll guy too, right? And Metallica, there's a lot of times I've been to places and I say, okay, you're doing a demo with XYZ type of music. Let's listen to some Metallica on it.
Mhm.
So, is it the best sounding album for Cambridge Audio Gear? Well, it may not be. there's a lot of really high res type stuff and stuff that is what we call audiophile quality. And some of the traditional type stuff like Dire Straits, I think, has some really good stuff that I think does well. The new Blink 182 stuff is great too. But when you ask me my favorite, yeah, it's Snoop Dogg.
Mine is Tom Mish. I'm a big Tom Mish fan.
Oh, I see Angelo. Angelo has an EVO150. Angelo, have you ever listened to any Snoop Dogg on that track?
And if you do, what is your favorite Snoop Dogg track? Oh man.
Are we asking Angelo that or me?
Both.
Yeah. Gin and juice.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Yes, it is. It is.
Um,
So all of us at Cambridge Audio, we love to listen to music. And we want to be able to listen to music of all different types, no matter what it is. We don't play within the confines of just considered audiophile type of a music because we are we have listened to music all our life of every different type of a format of everything that has come out, whether it became really popular, it was kind of hidden. And I love our stuff because it doesn't sound like I'm listening to audio equipment.
yeah. Angela said, "Of course I do." Okay, Chris.
There we
Murder was the case. Okay.
we're going on now. We're going good.
I love it. I didn't know so many people were like big Snoop Dogg fans like that.
Hmm. I've got some great stories to tell about Snoop Dogg one of these days here. Maybe tomorrow at the store.
For sure. So if you guys want to hear these stories, you have to come to Modus tomorrow.
Yes, that's right.
Oh man. Matt, that's a good one too. Nothing but a G thing. I'm like, okay, okay. um, Steve, could you share any upcoming projects or future directions for Cambridge Audio's high-end audio lineup that enthusiasts should be excited about?
Well, without giving the whole plan away, we'd like to keep things shrouded in a little bit of mystery. But many years ago, there was a line that we called Azure that was universally loved by everybody. It
Mhm.
was a beautiful product, came in the right price range, in my opinion. Looked nice. It sounded great. We had a full complement to be able to go along with it. And, there's still some people that you run into, they still have it, right?
Mhm.
Maybe 4 or 5 or 6 years old or whatever that it's been gone. But if I had a crystal ball and I was to take a guess that we would have a return of something like that in the near future, my crystal ball's in the shop, by the way. If I did have one and I looked into it, I would think, hmm, there might be something returning back soon within the next, 4 or 5 months along those lines. And there might be a whole lot of hype as we get these new products released into the marketplace. And I think it would be something that would be really cool. Um,
That sounds really cool.
yes, and I mean, a lot of our stuff, a lot of our direction is from feedback from customers, right? I mean, we're going to be releasing. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. We might be releasing some headphones, over the ear headphones that look really nice, and we're not releasing headphones because we think we're going to make a lot of money.
Mhm.
We're releasing headphones because we have this demand from customers that have asked us, "Hey, we want more products. We want headphones." And and we want some earbuds. And the earbuds we released, and there's a lot of great reviews to that.
Mhm.
But, our main reason was to be able to satisfy our customer demand, what they requested, because to us, the most important thing that we can do as a manufacturer is satisfy our loyal customers' needs. So if there's something that you guys out there in the general world, we respond back to every type of email or every type of comment on our website, right? As
Mhm.
far as our directives, right? So, great question, though.
Yeah, and that says a lot about Cambridge that you guys actually take your customer feedback and implement it. I can't tell you how many companies there are out there where customers will be like shouting from the rooftop that we want, these upgrades or these products, and they just ignore their customer base, which, is not a great feeling. But it probably is great for those people that love Cambridge and they've been talking to you guys about how much they love certain products and there's things that they want to see and then to actually see it come out.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And, you know, when you talk to people and you get some feedback, and then a year or two later, you're reconnecting with them saying, hey, you remember when you said you wanted this
Mm,
or that? And how do you like it now? Right. And it's just like I meet people that have, 30-year-old amplifiers, 35 watt per channel amplifiers. That was their first piece of audio equipment that they ever purchased. And they still love it. And they still use it. So it's it's really amazing how how wonderfully dedicated a lot of our customers are. And we really appreciate that. Absolutely. It's a
oh,
rewarding career to be in.
it is. It definitely is. Um, so I know we're getting close to 7:30, but we did have some questions that were submitted. Um, Jerry,
Okay.
what's our first question? Sorry. Thank you. Okay, so first question we had submitted was, do we know if there are any plans to release the CXN 100 in black?
Black. This T-shirt is what I call limited edition black. And every year we select a few products that we'll build in limited edition black.
Mhm.
I hope that there's a CXN 100 in limited edition black soon.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So, is it on the radar? Just like my limited edition black shirt is.
Hey.
So, chances are, I think we're going to see something. I hope so. Right? I love it when we do a limited edition black run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
Next
love
question.
limited edition anything. Yeah. Um, okay. So the next question we had that was submitted was, should I upgrade the CX81 Mach 2? Or should I upgrade to?
Well, it depends on what you're running right now. If it's an older CX80, CXA81, uh, I would say yes. You will definitely hear the difference between the two, and and it would it's released soon. And if you take a look at the used prices for CXA81, you can still get a good dollar back return on that CXA81 that's used. Because
Mhm.
too, they still have great resale value. So there again, trading up equipment, and I think there's a couple retail specialty places like TMR and stuff that actually do that, and you can just buy it off your hands.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we had another one in the chat. Okay.
We see any plans to add room correction to any one of your products. Um, we're working on that. We're studying a lot of that, and there's a lot of great things about it, and I think in the right situation, it's really going to work well for a lot of people. So, will you see it? Yeah, I think so. Will you see it this year? Yeah, maybe. Um, I think it's a great product. I think there's a lot of great products out there for room correction, and I think that we should foray into it a little bit.
Mhm.
Great question, though. Thank you.
Thank you. Was that all the questions in the chat? Awesome. So, Steve, is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you would like to talk about?
Well, you know, I don't know if we really spent enough time on Edge, and that's probably my fault too, because I was speaking about so many other things. But
We can
I
talk
want
about the Edge.
I wanted to go and give a little history of Edge. Right, we built it as special for our 50th anniversary. We have a streaming unit. We have a integrated amplifier and two amplifiers, a monoblock and a stereo block.
Mhm.
And spec wise, when you go to the ultra high end, that's where the specs are. The ultra high end manufacturers, they speak about twin toroidal power supplies. We talk about that same stuff. And as you remember, we were the first guys to ever use a toroidal power supply. A lot of the super high end guys, they talk about removing items out of the signal path. We
Mhm.
do too. A lot of guys, they can go and they can talk about their specs, 113 dB signal to noise ratio. We just coincidentally have to be 113 dB signal to noise ratio. Our stuff is what we call Class XA, which is a variant of Class AB to be able to make it a little bit more efficient and also sound better. So you can sit there and blast it and play it loud if you really want to and drive some really low impedance speakers. It also, I think it's one of the coolest looking pieces in that type of a price range. Um, it's got a very unique look to all of the products. Our knob, when you take a look, which was designed in UK and built in UK, is machined
Mhm.
out of aluminum, right? And we got some really, really cool price or products that when a lot of people think of Cambridge Audio, they think of, the less expensive, the $1,000 integrated amplifier and stuff, and not so much a $5,000 amplifier, but we have a really great product lineup in our Edge line.
You definitely do. And we
But other than
actually,
that,
sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, but other than that, I'm going to turn it over to you because I think we've got some Edge stuff over down in Modus AV, don't we?
We do. I was actually about to say that. So we have some Edge stuff connected to our blades, the KEF Blade 2 Metas. And it sounds really good. Like really, really good. I was surprised with how good it sounded. And if you've never seen them before, these units are like, think just like sci-fi, futuristic. You've got kind of like that chrome look to it, like the slightly rounded edges, but like the hard tops. Like it's a vibe. Um, so when we had those like paired with the blades, I was like, this is like a different sound, because we had the NAD M33 hooked up before, and now we've swapped it out. And I'm like, don't crucify me, NAD guys, but I might like this better. And it's really cool. I like the display.
Let's
I
put
like the
this right out.
knob.
The NAD M33 is a great unit, right?
It is. And that's been my like number one unit this whole time. So I was surprised that the Edge stuff just came in and was like, move. It's great though.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and we also have a Cambridge turntable hooked up to the Edge stuff as well. So if you guys come by Modus, you can see both and hear both. So if you have vinyls, bring your vinyls. We'll hook them up.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm really excited for tomorrow, and I'm excited that you were able to spend some time answering questions and, like, just being available for us and for our customers. Mark said even the edge packaging
Thank
is
you, Mark.
awesome. It is. Man, listen, when I tell you Cambridge audio packaging might be my favorite packaging, I love how easy it is to open. Everything is easy to get out. I do a lot of unboxing videos, so I have opened a lot of product. And some is really hard to get out of the box, but everything I've opened from Cambridge, it's super like easy to get out the box, really easy to handle. There's not a lot of extra like throwaway packaging, which makes it more eco-friendly. And I'm a big environmentalist, so I love the eco-friendly. And I've just, it's a pleasant experience, I would say, from start to finish with everything I've encountered at Cambridge.
Thank you. And we're as eco-friendly as we possibly can be in our packaging. We're very purposeful in the stuff that we put inside packaging, and even small little things, like you know I think we're thinking about not shipping any batteries inside remotes now if the unit comes with a remote, to be able to make it so that you know a little bit less of a footprint. And on the CXN 100, right, there's almost no type of plastic on the inside. That's all recycled cardboard on the inside. And we're trying, as a manufacturer, we think that that's important because every little step counts, right?
It does.
And right, because when there's so many billions of people and thousands of manufacturers out there, these little steps that maybe add a couple pennies to your bottom line,
Mhm.
right, and cost you a little bit, really reap the rewards. And our design team is absolutely fantastic about the packaging and the makeup of the products that we use to package it in. So I'm glad you noticed that. Thank you very much,
Oh, you're
Chelsea.
very welcome. But I don't think anybody else has any questions in the chat. So I'm just going to wrap it up here. Steve, thank you so much for making time for us and for hopping on this live and answering all these questions and giving us such good insight to all things Cambridge and the stuff that you guys have coming out.
Thank you very much. And everybody who joined, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see everybody. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you,
Yes.
Chelsea.
Oh man, and thank you, Steve, and thank you everybody for watching and joining us. Thank you for everybody who shared that we were going live, and an early advance thank you to everybody who comes out to our event tomorrow. A big thank you to the team at Cambridge for all of your support for the last 2 months, and just this entire journey. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you guys soon. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Have a good night.
So yeah.